All right, welcome back. I know we're a few weeks. Is it only 1 week or 2 weeks that we haven't done
I
an
think
episode?
2 weeks.
So it has been 2 weeks since we haven't done an episode. I get that. And we come into an episode where we're not going to have a fight the next week. We have Sam and I here right now. Hunter is going to be joining over just the phone call version. He's not going to be seen. If you guys are watching the YouTube version, I highly recommend actually switching over to one of our podcast editions. That way you can just kind of listen along. You guys don't have to be watching. If you guys are watching the YouTube versions, we are going to do a top 15 pound for pound men and women that we currently have, our rankings, and that will be displayed on the screen. So if you guys want to watch that, that's fine. Otherwise, head over to Winners Only Club, Instagram at WOC Maine. Same thing on Twitter. You will see all of our rankings side by side. And that way you guys can discuss, see what you guys like, see what you guys don't like, and let us know. But UFC Fight Night Holm versus
Vieira.
What's her name? Vieira. Yeah, I was going to say Pollyanna, but not Pollyanna. Kirsten Vieira, or whatever her name
Caitlyn.
is. It's Caitlyn. I can never remember it because it's Spanish. It's not my language. We'll get into the scoring because I know that's what everyone wants to talk about right away. But Sam, why don't you take us away? What was a fight that you watched that is just sticking out to you?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what his name is. Ugly Boy.
Yeah.
Versus Amidovsky, which, I mean, it was a minute long. I can't say it was a close fight, but damn, that rear naked choke Ugly Boy put on was pretty nasty. He looked good.
See, this card up until the main event was pretty good. And again, judging kind of ruined it. But there's a lot of split decisions that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Chase Hooper, for me, is the guy that just absolutely impressed. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how good he looks for a 22-year-old. I was a big fan of Chase Hooper before this fight. I didn't think he had what he had. His striking looks so much more cleaned up. He looks like he has figured out the ground game to a T because he took down a wrestler and held him down for as long as he could. All respect to Chase Hooper. He actually gets a KO, TKO, not a submission victory. He remains 100% finish rate in his wins. So good for Chase Hooper, 22 years old. As soon as he gets the real man strength that a 25, 26, 27-year-old gets, he's going to be a scary, scary prospect in this division. And I'm waiting to see what he can do as soon as he gets there.
I also want to, on the prelims, Almeida over Porter was, Almeida just looked dominant. I mean, he was the heavy favorite, but he was moving up a weight class. So you never know how that's going to affect him, especially, I think, at weigh-ins. He was outweighed by almost 40 pounds, I think, at the weigh-in.
Yeah, and if you're a heavyweight and getting a submission win, that's still impressive, no matter what the case may be. Into the the main card, which featured 4 decisions, 3 of them split, a KO that was nasty by Najakuwani over Dusko Todorovic, who recently had beaten our boy Maki Pitolo, who is going to be on the show likely next week. Great KO. It was probably the only thing that was great about the main card because the rest was pretty much ruined by judging. Let's just start it off. Eric Anders versus Jun-Young Park. You watched the fight, I'm guessing?
So I was with the girlfriend all weekend. I was able to get bits and pieces of each fight. I watched the last 3 on this card because I asked which ones are worth watching.
Yeah. So I have Park winning. I know when Hunter jumps on, if hopefully he jumps on here soon, we can talk about it. I know he has Anders winning, but I think we're both in the middle there saying either guy could have won the fight. So with this split decision, I don't disagree. I think it should be a split decision win. However, depending on what you value, which I value striking, he values grappling. I thought there was a lot more damage on the Park side. He thought there was a lot more grappling damage on the Anders side. It's hard on this to know who's actually winning when you don't know what the judges are scoring on. Hunter has just joined on. He's connecting to audio. Hunter, you're jumping in right as we're talking about the Eric Anders versus Jun Park fight. Who'd you have winning the fight?
Oh, I had Anders big time.
That's what I just said. You probably had.
That's the story of the whole card is the judging. It made it over the card, and it sucks because there were some good fights, but.
Yeah, so it's exactly what I just said. I said, I guarantee you that Hunter's going to jump on here, say that he had Anders or Eric Anders, and I had Jun Park actually winning this, but slightly. I think this is the one of the 3 split decisions that is kind of close, to be honest with you. We'll jump into the other 2, but I think this one is like, it could have been a coin flip, to be honest.
This one was close. I think the Ponzinibbio one was a coin flip in my opinion too. But
see, did you have a Ponzinibbio or did you have Pereira?
I had Pereira.
So did I. Sam, did you have Pereira?
I had Ponzinibbio just because I thought he did more damage. Yeah, Pereira outstruck him, but I thought out of their striking, I thought Ponzinibbio was landing the bigger strikes.
And
now, which round, 1 or 2, would you have given to Ponzinibbio?
I gave him 2.
Okay. And I'm guessing, Hunter, you gave 3 to Ponzinibbio?
See, honestly, every round could have been a little bit different. One, I didn't give to Ponzinibbio at all. I think the only round I would go definitely Ponzinibbio was since towards the end of the 3rd round. I think he took that round, the 3rd round.
So I had 29-28 with round 1 and 2 going to Pereira. So I think the question really is going to come down to round 2, because round 1 was Pereira dominating. Round 3, I think most people lean Ponzinibbio. Round 2, I think most people will agree with the Pereira. Now I know a lot of people do like Ponzinibbio, so I think that plays a part. But I felt like Pereira won the fight. I don't think it should have been split decision though.
I think based off the volume, it kind of goes back to the Dillashaw-Sandhagen fight. And it's like, what are the judges looking for? They're getting volume or damage? So it's really hard to judge those, but I just think Pereira outstruck him. So I don't know.
Yeah, he outstruck him in every round. I just thought Ponzinibbio was landing the better strikes. I mean, Pereira was good with those front kicks to, I think, the kidney I did like those, but I thought just head strikes Ponzinibbio, it looked like he was doing more damage to Pereira when I was watching the fight, but it was close.
Okay, so I mean, I guess, well, this fight's definitely closer than the next fight we're going to talk about. I think all 3 of us can agree on that. I think 95% of the world would agree with that. Granted, Pereira gets the split decision. By the way, Polyana Viana, Colby Covington's ex-lover, loses Tabitha Ritchie. I don't think there's much discussion on that one. Ritchie pretty much controlled that fight for 3 rounds. So
no,
Polyana was a little disappointing just sitting there on the back the entire time. Now the main event of the evening, Holly Holm versus Caitlyn Vieira. I think the question should have been, did Holly Holm win that 3 rounds to 2 or 4 rounds to 1? There's no way in my mind that Caitlyn Vieira wins that fight 3-2.
There's not a single person I think that even she didn't think she won. You could tell.
Yeah, her corner going into round 5 said, "You're down 3 rounds to 1. You need to finish it."
Yes, I think it was 4-1. I don't see any 2 rounds that Vieira won.
When I said what was it? 2nd round for sure was Vieira.
Yep.
The other 4 rounds, I can't get a case to even say that Vieira won those rounds.
Yeah, I mean, stats wise too, I think Holm outstruck Vieira by 66 strikes, 11 total significant strikes, and had 10 minutes to 1 minute of ground control.
The issue with the strikes numbers is everyone's now going to go back about 2 weeks or 3 weeks maybe when Font and Cheeto fought. And they're going to be like, well, Font had better stats. Well, yeah, but you also watch that fight and you don't think it's close.
Here's the thing. Yeah, you stats, but you just watch the fight. Not a single person. Yeah.
The judges don't get to see those stats. They have to judge it round by round. And if they're doing their job correctly, I can't see other than that second round, a round that you were like, yeah, Caitlyn win this round. Like, there's no round that I can say that. I have her probably winning 4-1, maybe a close 3-2 with possibly Caitlyn winning, I believe it was a third round. But there's no way Holly Holm doesn't win this fight, and she's not fighting a championship fight in the bantamweight division against the winner of Pena versus Nunez next. Like, it just shouldn't.
No, because Holm is the only one that could beat one of those two girls, and I think she could honestly hang with both of them. Vieira is going to get her. Vieira is not in that same class as those two, in my opinion. So
No.
Yeah.
What's going to be unfortunate is for Holly Holm, she did look like she aged. I'm not going to discredit that. She definitely didn't look like the old Holly Holm, but she wins that fight. Do I think she could beat a Juliana Pena or Amanda Nunez? I don't think so. But I do think that she'd be a better fight than Caitlyn Vieira. Because, I mean, even going back to the Miesha Tate fight, which I know people are going to watch the show and say, you guys are very biased towards Miesha Tate. We can tell you guys love Miesha Tate, which is all true. However, I think that fight was even close. I think that fight could have went either way. If you told me that fight was a split decision, I would agree. This fight was not a split decision.
I just don't think Vieira does enough to ever try to win a fight, and the judges are going to keep giving it to her. But
part of me thinks it's because they want the division to keep moving, and she's 30, Holm's 40. They know Holm can't fight for that much longer. Like, I don't know where you're going with this. Like, I don't know how you give Caitlyn Vieira a win in that fight on a Saturday night.
No. And Holly's a bigger draw anyway, so if you're going to, even with age, you know.
So that's where I stand on this. Judging is going to be a major issue. You even had Daniel Cormier say, I guess I don't know anything about fighting because I was wrong again. I think he had Andres Ponzinibbio and Holly Holm winning, and none of the three pulled it off. So Daniel Cormier, as much as people don't like him, some people love him, he can make a joke about himself and make a joke about the sport just like anyone else can. And honestly, the fact that even he's questioning the judging when he's an announcer, it's probably not a good sign for the sport. Jumping into news, I don't think we have very much, to be 100% honest. We do know for a fact UFC 277 is going to be in Dallas, Texas. We do know for a fact on this podcast within the next 14 days, we're going to have Maki Pitolo. We're going to have a coach of a very, very well-known gym. I'm not going to announce which gym that is, but we're going to record that next Tuesday during the day. I have reconfirmed that with him. And we're probably going to get a few other guests. Now, boxing, we're going to real quick touch on that because this is a crazy time for boxing right now. So let's start with this weekend. Gervonta Davis is getting back into the ring. This is his last fight being partnered with Floyd Mayweather. Do we think that there's anything going on there? Do we think that this is a good move, bad move? Doesn't really matter. Like, where are your guys' heads on this?
Ooh, Sam, you start that one.
I mean, I'm not that big into boxing, but Floyd's such a big name in the boxing world. I feel like that helps him out at least a little bit. Like, getting the name out there. I mean, Floyd, he is the greatest or one of the greatest of all time, depending on who you talk to. So, and he's a great promoter in its own right as well. So I feel like that helps out any fighter. So I think I don't know too much, but just from hearing that, I don't think it's that great of a move.
For me, Floyd made it Gervonta Davis popular. Now Gervonta Davis is probably the most exciting, most powerful, most popular lightweight fighter in all of boxing. He doesn't need Floyd anymore, but I don't think anything's like drama there. I just think, he's leaving for somewhere else, another promotion maybe. I don't know. I'm not really that much. I just, I'm into the fighters, but not into the whole business side of it.
So I guess what really pissed off Gervonta is that Floyd had essentially said, like, he's a very good boxer, but it's kind of because of who we put him against because he's so young. And he said, I think that he's going to grow up to be the next me. And he was praising him. But I think Gervonta didn't like the fact that they had mentioned that he's not fighting the top competition. Ryan Garcia wants a part of Gervonta Davis. Lopez wants a part of Gervonta Davis. All these guys are calling him out, which I think would.
Let me say this: the Ryan Garcia shit, Gervonta Davis would absolutely demolish for Ryan Garcia. I'm putting that on record. But he's a big name, so I get the call out, but he's not in the same league as Gervonta Davis, in my opinion.
I think it's closer than people give it credit to. I think Ryan Garcia is a very, very good boxer. This is definitely the best division in boxing right now.
Yep.
This class is definitely at the top. I think it's smart that Floyd had done it. Floyd basically gave him a blueprint of how to get to the top. And he's saying that if Gervonta leaves, he's going to skip a few steps. If your main guy is saying that, I don't think it's a good move to just deny it and just go do this. So he's going to fight this bum. I believe he's minus like 525 opposed to plus 1100.
Yeah.
So he should get the win this weekend. And then he's going to go fight the best of the best. And I have a feeling he'll be a favorite, but I have a feeling he'll be the loser at the end of the night if he does not go back minutes after this fight to go back to Floyd Mayweather. That's just how I feel. That's really our boxing talk for the day. Now, instead of covering an event next weekend for the UFC, we're going to go over a monthly new thing that we're going to do, our pound for pound top 15 rankings.
After every pay-per-view, we will do this for sure.
I think that's probably smarter. Let's do 2 episodes after every pay-per-view. We'll just do a rankings episode, though.
Absolutely.
So we'll just start it off with pound for pound. We won't go into every division by division. We can do that for every championship fight. Following every championship fight, we'll do it from there. Let's start with the women's pound for pound rankings. I think we're all going to be unanimous on this. Do we all have Valentina at number 1?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we all have Amanda Nunes at 2?
I still have Amanda at 2. Absolutely.
No, I have Juliana just because she beat her.
Now, do you have Juliana at 3, Hunter?
I do have Juliana at 3.
And so do I. Sam, do you have now Amanda at 3?
Yeah, Amanda at 3.
So you gave us your reasoning. I still think Amanda's going to beat her in July.
I think
we'll see what happens.
For me,
I just give it to people who actually, if you beat someone, I put you ahead of them.
Oh, here's my only thing with that is Amanda's the GOAT still, in my opinion. And it's kind of like when GSP lost to Sarah. Sarah's not a better fighter, and it proved in the next fight. I think Amanda wins this one. So I'm not gonna put. I think Amanda just had a really awful fight, and I think she's gonna put it on Juliana this next one. But yeah.
So now number 4, I'm gonna put a quick asterisk to this. This is where I would have Joanna Jędrzejczyk if she was eligible for rankings. However, she's not eligible for rankings, and I'm gonna put Jessica Andrade at number 4. This is where I think we're gonna start differing.
I have Carla, man. She's been on a tear. She's winning every fight. She beat Rose. Carla Esparza at 4.
Yeah, I have Carla at 4 as well. She's 2-0 against Rose in her career in title fights.
Absolutely, yep.
So I have Carla at 5.
So what's your reasoning for Andrade at 3 or 4, should I say?
The reasoning I have is that she's now gone between 2 divisions. She's likely going to get a championship fight here at some point. I like what she did when she came back. I think that she has what it takes to win a championship fight. I don't think she'll beat Valentina if that's what she goes to pick. I do think she would beat Carla. So that's just where I stuck. I could very well change this even without either of them fighting in the next month. But that's just where I have it. I have it at a tight 4-5. Now, at number 5, who do you guys have?
I have Rose.
Yeah, I wanted to put Rose. Oh, you have Rose at 5, so Rose is my 5 as well. Yeah.
Okay. So at number 6, I have Rose.
Okay. My 6 is Zhang Weili. I'm not. How do you pronounce that?
Zhang Weili.
Zhang Weili, whatever it is. She's a beast. So I still think she's right up there, man. I still think she won one of those fights. So
Yeah, I had Caitlyn Chookagian just because she's essentially the Colby Covington of the women's flyweight division, where Valentina's the number 1 pound for pound, and she's the person that people have to get past to get to Valentina.
I like that.
I have 7 Zhang Weili.
That's the same with me.
My 7 is Chookagian.
Okay. At number 8, I have Marina Rodriguez.
It got hard at this point.
This is where it got really hard.
It got really hard, and it's probably, this wouldn't be a good pick. But I still have Holly, man. I think she won that fight, so I'm not going to put that as a loss. So I'm going as if she won that fight, I put her there still. She's still, in my opinion, the second best. So
I have we're at 8, right?
Yeah.
I have Andrade.
Okay. At number 9, I have Mackenzie Dern.
now I have Andrade. I'm sorry, I'm not the highest on Andrade just because if you look at her last 5 fights, she still has lost to Valentina. She's lost to Rose. But yes, which is crazy. I have Chookagian over her right now after, obviously Andrade beat her. But that's what I have. Andrade at 9.
At 9, I have Marina.
So at 10, this is where I have Caitlyn Chookagian.
And this ride Marina. I just want to see her in a title fight. I'm going off these girls that have been in title fights and what they've done with it. That's a big part of the sport, in my opinion.
That is part of it.
Pound for pound. I mean, that's why you have, guys, you'll see my men's. That's why some of them are in there in certain spots. Title fights for me are everything. That's the biggest fight you can get. You show up, it's pay-per-view. That, in my opinion, determines your pound for pound ranking. But yeah.
Yeah, 10, I have Caitlyn Vieira.
Okay. At number 11, this is where I have Holly Holm.
I have Holm at 11 as well.
And then I have Vieira here at 11.
So I have Vieira at 12. I still have Holly Holm above her because I think she won that fight. I don't think that she beats any of those top 10 pound for pound, only because she did look her age. And granted, when we get to the men's, I think it's going to be a lot closer than what we have now. I think there's going to be a lot more bigger debates because there's more divisions. It got really hard around this point.
Yep.
Sam, who was your number 11?
11's Holly Holm.
Okay, and number 12, I have Caitlyn Vieira.
12, I put Dern here. I think soon she's going to crack that top 10. One more big win. She's in the top 10.
At 12, I have Jan Jayonan.
Yeah, I think that's how you say it. I watched her lose to Marina Rodriguez in Vegas. That's who I have at number 13. I think she is a really good fighter. I think that fight was a split decision, if I remember right. And, I mean, she could easily have been, flip-flopped with where I have Dern.
Yeah, she's my 13 as well.
Sam, who's 13?
Mackenzie.
Okay. At number 14, I have Raquel Pennington.
Same. She's my 14.
I have Irene Aldana.
So I have 15. I just flip-flopped them. Raquel's been around forever, man. She's still looking good. She's wins a tough fight in short notice. So I like Raquel over Irene there.
So I actually put Irene out of my top 15, which I know is going to be the question of this. I have Amanda Hebox. I know she just came off a loss, but that was not at her natural weight. I do really like Amanda Hebox. I think she's a very good fighter. I think that she is someone that could be put there. The other person that I know I wanted to put here, and I just couldn't do it, was Aspen Ladd.
Yeah, yep.
But I do have Amanda Hebox at number 15.
And I think it's past 7 in the women's. It's all the same, 7 and 15 mostly. It's kind of, here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
At 15,
who's your guys' 15th?
Eldon was my 15.
Oh, okay.
At 15, I have a former title challenger. Has fought or had a close split decision against the number 11 on the list, Misha
Hey.
Tate.
Misha, baby.
I had to throw her in there
And-
just because we're massive fans of her on the podcast.
Ground and Pound loves Misha Tate, man. Get Cupcake on here.
And she deserves to be number 15 because I think once she gets a win over Lauren Murphy, who is another name that should be right on the edge of that list.
And
She could easily be number 15 to 12.
then she's right there to be one of the only women to compete for belts at super weights. So
Yeah. So I actually really like the Misha Tate pick. Now, men's for pound, I think we can almost fly through this, but I think there's gonna be a lot more debating. Number 1, do we all have Kamaru Usman?
I do not.
I have
Do
Usman.
you have someone that has not fought in a while?
Look, we're not going off of active fighters, and I'm going off the guy that
Yep,
does.
I knew it.
Jon Jones, man. John doesn't lose. And he's going to get the heavyweight belt. He's going to have 2 belts, something I haven't seen Usman even go for yet. So, yeah, I'm going to go Jon Jones. He's beaten better, more. He's more of a legend right now. He's better pound for pound, in my opinion, than anybody in the world. Until someone beats Jon Jones, he's my number 1 forever.
Okay, I wanted to do it. I wanted to. I really did. I couldn't do it. I couldn't put him in my top 5, but the second that he wins the heavyweight belt and he beats Stipe, whenever that ends up being, he's going to be my number 1. I don't doubt that, but holy fuck, I couldn't do it. I'm sorry.
Usman, you look at the guys John's beaten multiple Hall of Famers. I don't see Usman's beaten one future Hall of Famer, maybe, and that's Kobe.
Yeah.
He hasn't beaten enough good people yet. And he needs to beat guys like Kamaev, and he needs to beat other wrestlers and stuff. I just want to see him fight more. That's all. He's my number 2, though, 100%, Kamaru Usman.
So number 2, who do you have, Sam?
Volk.
As do I. I have Volk at number 2. Number 3, I wanted to put Ngannou here. I didn't go that way. I went with Israel Adesanya. And the only reason I didn't put Ngannou here is because I also have 3 guys in the heavyweight division in my top 15. And I could see either of the 2 people beating Ngannou, which is probably an issue for me to put him at number 3 then.
I here wanted to go Volk, but I went Izzy over Volk for 3. Volk was 4. Because Izzy I think if Volk went up a weight class to 55 against any of those guys, I think it would be a bloodbath. Personally, I don't think he can compete with Oliveira, Islam, those guys at all. Israel went up and he lost a fight, but it was a close fight against a fighter he can definitely beat, in my opinion, in the future. So I'm going Izzy at number 3. He's my guy, even though he's boring lately. I still love him.
Same.
Yeah, I have 3 as Izzy.
There you go.
So we all agreed there. You said you had 4 Volk. I have 4 as Ngannou.
I have 4 as Oliveira.
So
He's
3 people
dominating.
different
He's
here.
dominating that lightweight division.
Yeah, I think part of it is the fact that he doesn't technically have the belt for me. That really hurts him. And I know he should have the belt. I do know he should
The
have
faulty
it.
scale, it doesn't hurt it for me.
There's that, and the fact that at 45 he lost a lot. Anthony Pettis submitted him at 55. I'm pretty sure. He has some sus losses too, but I wanted to put him in my top 5. I didn't give him a 5. I have Francis.
Yeah. Who's your number 4?
Volk's my 4.
Okay, yeah. So number 5, you have Francis. I have Charles Oliveira here. Sam, who do you have?
I have Francis.
Okay.
So it goes without saying, my number 6 is Charles Oliveira. He's beaten the better guys recently, so yeah.
Oliveira almost slipped to 6 for me. I just don't know how I would have felt about this guy having his name on his face on the picture. And I have number 6 is Jon Jones. He is the best. I'm not going to deny that. He is the best fighter on the roster. And as soon as he steps into the octagon and beats Stipe, he's going to be my number 1. But it's just the fact that he hasn't fought. Sam, who do you have at 6?
Max Holloway.
That one's rough for me. That one's really rough for me. I just can't do it. And I have him way farther down. But I get that he's also only been really stood up at this point in his career by Volk.
No, Dustin Poirier gave him that work too.
When was that though? Like how many years ago?
Was that 2018?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have Poirier in my top 15. Spoiler alert.
Okay. That's crazy to me.
Do you have Gaethje in the top 15?
Why? No. Dustin's he lost to Poirier.
I know.
Okay.
All right, we'll go into it. We'll go into it.
We're at 8, right?
At number 6, who do you have?
6 Oliveira.
And you have Holloway. I have Jon Jones. Number 7, I have Glover. And this was hard for me. I didn't really want to throw Glover there either, but I have 7 at Glover Teixeira.
Same.
I have Aljo, man. He's the champ in the tougher weight class. My opinion, pound for pound, he's beating guys like Peter Yan if he was a 205 pounder, the way he moves, the way he boxes, the way he grapples still. I got Aljo at 7. He's beating some tough dudes. Submitted Sandhagen. I haven't seen him lose in a while, so.
So at 8, I have Stipe.
At 8, I have Aljo. I didn't like his last fight. But.
Yeah. At 8, I have Dustin. I think Dustin's still up there, man. He's beating everyone good. What are his losses? Oliveira and Habib?
Like recently?
Yeah.
Yeah, recently it's just them two, but I don't know.
Name his last loss.
I'm not gonna lie. I think part of that, me not putting him in top 15, is the fact that I'm a McGregor fan. He's, in my mind, he's still ducking Colby, even though he tweeted at him. And I know that's 2 totally different weight classes, but I don't know. I just can't put Poirier in my top 15. And I know I'm probably wrong on that. And I know most people do not agree with that.
It's the body of work. You know, he's absolutely demolished. He's beating Eddie Alvarez. He's beating Justin Gaethje. He's beating Max Holloway. He's beating Conor twice. He's beating many champions. So
I just don't. Well, he beat Conor twice, but one of them is going to go down as a no decision at some point in his career.
He beat a 2-weight world champ, first ever to do it.
I know. And then number 9, this is where I have Aljo. So we have him at 7, 8, and 9.
9, I have Figueiredo.
9, I have Glover.
Okay. At 10, I have Figueiredo.
10, I have Colby.
Ooh, that's a pick for sure. I got
taken
Figueiredo.
Usman to 5 rounds twice. Who else has done that? And actually, where Jacob, you told me you thought Colby won that last fight against Usman. Who has done that recently?
Very true. I just don't think Colby's beaten really anyone other than Damian Maia. That's decent.
I mean, he dominated Jorge except for one punch.
Jorge.
I mean, I get it's Jorge, but
hey, Robbie Lawler wasn't bad when they fought.
Yeah, I beat him in his way past his prime. He beat Jorge, Jorge doesn't win a lot either recently, but I don't know. Figueiredo's 10 for me.
Okay, so we both had Figueiredo. And number 11, I have Robert Whittaker.
11, I have Dustin.
And
I'm trying to set up that 65 fight.
Yep. It could happen. 11, I have Stipe.
Okay. Number 12, I have Colby Covington.
12, I have Stipe.
12, I have Peter Yan.
He's in my top 15. Don't worry.
Yeah, man. I think he's still one of the best in the world. So
he's probably the best boxer, one of the best boxers in the UFC. Holloway's up there for sure, which is also who's my number 13.
13, I have the assassin, baby.
Ooh, Moreno. I have Holloway as 13 as well.
At number 14, this is where I have the assassin, baby.
14, I have Piotr.
14, I have Bobby Knuckles, Robert Whittaker.
And number 15, I have Peter Yan.
15, I have Jon Bones Jones just because of the inactivity.
15, he slides in. TJ Dillashaw, baby, former champ. Looked good his last fight. I think he's better than. I put a lot of bandweights in here. Obviously, I put Aljo, I put Yan. I think that's a deep weight class. So,
yeah, and I have three heavyweights. And who knows what's going to happen? Maybe Tai Tuivasa breaks into this at the end of the year. But that's crazy to think that that's possible.
Yeah.
And I feel like the men's pound for pound rankings is so crazy. I'm going to calculate both the women's and the men's, just do a winners only club pound for pound rankings, where it's based on the 3 of our votes.
Total that out. Yeah.
It'll be like first place or the number 1 seed gets 15 points, and then it's divided by 3. And well, I guess I don't even have to divide it. It'll just be like a point system.
Yep.
And I'll tweet those out, and also put them on Instagram. But that's
like
where I
college
got
football.
them. Yeah, pretty much. That's where we all have them. So if you guys disagree, like what we have to say, please like, comment, subscribe, share this with your friends. UFC 277, which will be in Dallas, Texas, not Chicago, unfortunately. I think that's when we got to actually capitalize. We all have to go.
What is in Texas? You said Dallas?
Dallas.
Oh, I'm 100%.
At the American Airlines Arena.
Yep.
Late July. It's going to be Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena 2. Co-main is going to be the interim flyweight championship between Kai Kara France and Brandon Moreno. That's a question for me because I'm really not sure why we have a interim fight for that when we just had a title fight in January. But regardless,
Is Figueiredo hurt?
I know what?
Is Figueiredo hurt or like?
I have no idea. I know Derek Lewis is fighting, and I know there's one more big fight that I'm just like blanking on.
Are you talking about the Dallas one?
Yeah.
The Luke Rockhold one?
Oh, Rockhold versus Paulo Costa, which, by the way,
Great
shout out
fight.
Paulo Costa.
Yep, great fight.
He's an idiot, but I love his Twitter.
Yeah, didn't that get moved back from 276 to 277?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because of weight issues.
Yeah.
He's not making weight anyway.
We're already talking about weight issues. It's 2 months away. So
I want to see a good version of Luke Rockhold though, man. I miss him in the sport.
I think that's a great fight. I really do.
Yeah. You know they're gonna stand up and bang, and if any, it's gonna be a fun fight. See if Rockhold's chin holds up, I think he outstrikes him. But I don't know if his chin is gonna hold up against Guy Costa.
No, I don't think so either. But that's pretty much our episode. So we'll be back next week. We'll kind of go over our men's pound for pound, our women's pound for pound combined rankings, kind of see what we're at. We'll discuss it. We'll also discuss the UFC Fight Night event. And then after this fight night, I believe that's the last one that's scheduled to be at the Apex. And we're back to normal fight night cards, I believe. June 25th, I think, is a question. So we'll see what happens with that. But it seems like they're getting them in real arenas, real fans, real everything. Austin, Texas, right after Singapore. If you guys are wondering when the Singapore event is going to happen, it's all on U.S. time, which I kind of don't like. But we'll get the return of Joanna Jędrzejczyk. We'll get the light heavyweight championship of the world go over to Teixeira versus Yuri Prohaska. Yuri Prohaska, guaranteed with a win, will probably join all of our top 15 rankings.
Oh, yeah.
And we also get the championship fight between Valentina Shevchenko and I can't even think of who she's fighting.
Who is she fighting?
I want to say someone's
against the person that's losing to Valentina Shevchenko.
Yes, it's pretty much.
Isn't it Talia Santos?
Yes, good call. Talia Santos, which you might as well just call the person that's going to lose to Valentina Shevchenko.
Yeah, that's unless it's Misha Tate against Shevchenko, like I really don't want to watch the fight even. She's gonna I watch the fight because I want to see. We're gonna miss it when she's gone.
Yeah. But that's the card. We'll see you guys next week. Shout out to all of you guys. Go over to our YouTube channel. Please share it. We are growing and growing quickly. You guys may wonder where I am. I'm in the Chicago Board of Trade building. This is where I work right now, maybe on one floor, but you never know when Winners Only Club's going to expand. It will be on a different floor. So we'll see you guys next time. Shout out to you guys. Go over to Brandon's video. There's a big announcement that's already been released. with a Dodgers prospect who is announcing his retirement on our show. So see you guys. We'll see you guys next week.